All right, in this next screencast, we're going to be going over the functions for adding students to the system, modifying students, deleting them, and then we're also going to cover the enrollment process. So for the first part, we'll go ahead and add a student. We've just created the class under the classes object. So to add a student, you go to the Students tab, and you'll be presented with the student catalog with all the currently all the students that exist in the system currently. So to add a student, all you need to do is click New. And this is the manual way of adding students. What you can also do is use the import data feature and add students in bulk and automatically enroll them in courses, which we'll have a video for that after this one. So the first two charts up here are going to be invalid because there's no data that currently exists. So we'll go ahead and add in the students' information. And the metrics are all going to be 0 because they don't have any attendance records created yet. So we've got the information added. If we click Save, they'll be automatically added to the system. So we see that we have the confirmation student was created. Next, we probably want to enroll that student in a course. So it automatically redirects once their student is created to the student's profile. So we see all the information that we created here. We also have a tab called Classes and Attendance, which will display the currently enrolled courses, which is 0, and the attendance records for that student, which is also 0 currently. If we want to enroll that student, or if we wanted to delete that student, all we would need to do is go back to the student's profile, and we can choose to delete. So we'll go to the course catalog, or the student's catalog, and we'll scroll down to that student. And then we can right click here and choose delete here. So that's how we, and then we can also edit that student from this as well. So by clicking edit, you can edit the student's information. So that covers creating, modifying and deleting students from the system. The next part is enrolling that student in a course. As we go here to the deliverable, you can see that the next section under students is managing those enrollments. So we're going to go ahead and walk through adding the enrollment, updating enrollments, and deleting enrollments. So to do that, we can go to, there's a couple different methods of doing that. We can go to the Enrollments tab and create an enrollment, or we can go to the Classes tab and add them into a specific course. So we created the GRIP course previously. We're going to enroll the newly created student in that GRIP course from the Courses page. So in order to do that, we're just going to scroll down to the course catalog. We'll select GRIP. Then we'll go over to enrollments and sessions. And then under enrollments, we see that there's currently 0 enrollments. We want to add one, so we'll click New. We see that the course has been set to default already. We're going to type in John Smith, and it will populate with his information. And then we can click Save. And that student has been enrolled in this course, as we see here. So that's how you enroll students one by one on a manual basis. Again, we'll have a video for importing data. So if we wanted to import 50 students all at once, we could do that. Deleting an enrollment is the same way as we just saw for students. You go to the enrollment section and you can right-click the enrollment record and choose to edit or delete that enrollment. Okay, so we've covered the enrollments. The next thing is going to be creating individual class sessions. So you're not going to be able to access this from the tab menu. In order to create a session for a class, we have to go to the classes page, which we're currently on. So we'll go back to, so in order to take the attendance, which is a follow-on video, we first have to go to the class page and then go to enrollments and session tab, scroll down to sessions, and then we're going to click new. And that creates a new session, and a session represents 1 day of class. So we're going to have to populate some information, well, really just the date of this session. So we'll click today's date, and then we'll click save. And then if you click on the session that was created, you'll be brought to that session's information. So we see the session, the primary key here, the session name. We've got the course's name, the session's date, 0 attendance calculation so far because we haven't taken the attendance. If we scroll over to the class attendance page, this is where we can go in and modify the attendance roster for this day. As you can see, taking attendance is very easy with this because we used a plugin from the Salesforce App Exchange, which allows all of the, essentially, it's an automated process that takes all of the enrollments for the course and generates an attendance roster when a new session is created. And that's what we're looking at here. As you can see, there's only 1 student enrolled in this course, but we've also set a trigger that sets the present value to default true. And so that's essentially how the attendance is taken. If you wanted to go and edit and modify this attendance, you could do so here by clicking edit. So that covers creating a session. There's not really any particular use case where you would want to delete a session, but if you wanted to, you could go back to the session within the classes page and click the arrow to the right of that session record and click to edit or delete that session if you wanted to. So that covers everything through creating students, creating, updating, deleting students, creating, updating, and deleting courses, as well as enrollment records and sessions. In this next video, actually we can go ahead and knock it out now. We're going to basically go through the take attendance procedure. So we've created the course. Now we're going to want to go and take attendance. So what we'll do is we'll click on the course from the course directory. And then to take attendance for today, it's the same process we just went through a moment ago. We'll go to the Enrollments and Sessions tab, and we will scroll down to the sessions. We'll create a new session because this is a new day of class that we're taking attendance for. And we'll select the date, and then we'll click Save. And then we'll click on the session that was created. And here we have the attendance. So we have the session details as well as the class attendance. Under class attendance, this is where we could go in and edit the attendance roster. So if we wanted to edit this record, say the student was not present, we just click that and deselect present, and then we can click Save. So that's taking the attendance. If you wanted to update attendance information, you would go through the same process. You go to the class, go to the session, and then click edit on that session. Or when you click into the session, you can edit the attendance records that way. And that will just look like what we're looking at currently. I'd like to quickly go over reports, and then in the final video, we'll go through importing data and exporting data using the Visualforce page that we created. So for the reports themselves, we basically structure them into 2 categories: attendance reports and class roster reports. For the attendance reports, if we click on that, we have 4 different reports that can be generated. We have a description of these reports up at the top to assist professors, and then we've also created 4 different types of reports. The first report, where it says all, basically generates a report with all attendance data grouped by course and student. And then it also provides attendance metric totals that you can export into Excel. The second tab only displays data where students were marked present for the classes. And then under absent, for this report, it's only displaying data where students were marked absent and not excused. And then in the fourth tab, it's showing data where students will mark absent but excused with an excuse note. So let's take a look at one of these reports. They all look the same when you export them, but we'll go ahead and take a look at all attendance. So we see here we can hover over this chart to view the metrics, and we can click View Report to drill down into those charts. So we can remove the chart. So this is what the report looks like when you click on the report. So you have all the information here, as you can see, grouped by course and student. We've also got the total records at the top, as well as the record count for the courses and the students here. So you can see this is all the attendance data. We have students who are marked present, absent, excused, as well as the date and the excuse details if that information was provided. To export this information to Excel, all you need to do is go to the top right and click Export. You can also save it within the system by clicking Save. So that covers those reports. To view a total list of the class roster, all you need to do is click Class Roster and click on the same type of report and click View Report, and you'll be presented with that roster as well. So this is also exportable to Excel. All you need to do is do the same thing, top right, export, and you can save that into Excel and manipulate that information. So that covers all the reports. One of the specific requirements was viewing students with certain numbers of absences. So we covered taking the attendance, updating the attendance, viewing absences per student. All you need to do is go to the absence report that I just demonstrated, and that will show you all the absences per student. We've also got a view report of total absences per student for a class and adding attendance notes. So the one report that I will conclude on is the total number of absences per class. So in order to view that report, all you need to do is click on the student's profile. So go to the student directory and scroll down, select one of the students. And on their profile, you'll see two metrics, or two charts that have two metrics. The first one shows the number of days marked present, and the second one shows the number of days marked absent. So this is where you meet that deliverable requirement, where seeing the total number of absences per student by class, because you can see this person's been absent 7 times in Java, 4 times in systems, and 1 time in process management. And if we wanted to, we could click here and go to that report and export it. So that covers all of the requirements thus far. In the last video after this, we'll go over how to import data and view that within the system.